Hi, everybody. Today we're going to talk about a blood test that tells you far more about your metabolic health than your cholesterol number.
When most people go to the doctor for a routine checkup, they get a lipid panel. Total cholesterol, LDL, HDL, triglycerides. Total cholesterol and even LDL are surprisingly poor predictors of metabolic health in many individuals. There's another marker, one that costs almost nothing to measure more, that most people have never heard of. That marker is fasting insulin. Insulin resistance is the underlying driver of type 2 diabetes, obesity, liver disease.
Fasting insulin measures that root directly, not a downstream consequence, the thing itself.
Imagine a factory where the machines are breaking down. You could measure the noise from outside, or you could walk directly into the factory. Insulin resistance can persist for years before blood glucose starts rising into the diabetic range.
By the time your doctor tells you that your fasting glucose is elevated, the underlying insulin resistance has often been building for 10, 15, even 20 years.
Fasting insulin would have shown that developing problem years earlier, when lifestyle changes could have reversed it most easily.
Standard lab reference ranges list anything under 25 MIU liters as normal, but that range is based on the population average. Optimal fasting insulin sits much lower, ideally below 8 MIU liters, with many researchers arguing the ideal is between 2 and 6. If your fasting insulin is in the teens or above, even if your blood glucose is completely normal, you are likely developing insulin resistance. Elevated fasting insulin is a stronger predictor of cardiovascular events than LDL cholesterol in many populations. Elevated fasting insulin is the earliest detectable signal of the progression toward type 2 diabetes, appearing years before glucose dysregulation shows up. There is no drug that lowers insulin. The intervention for high fasting insulin is lifestyle, diet, fasting, exercise.
Most patients look fine under standard reference ranges. Most doctors see a normal result and move on.
Ask your doctor to add fasting insulin to your next routine blood test.
Below 8 is optimal. Between 8 and 12 HAL, pay attention. Above 12 HAL warrants a serious conversation about insulin resistance. Reducing refined carbohydrates, cutting sugar, practicing time-restricted eating, and regular physical activity all produce meaningful reductions in fasting insulin.
Fasting insulin is the metabolic canary in the coal mine. It tells you what's happening at the root level, years before the downstream consequences show up. Ask for it. Know your number. And if it's elevated, that's not a reason to panic. It's a reason to act. Thanks for watching, everybody. Share it with someone who needs to hear it. I'll see you next week.